There is a reason most people fail at manifestation. They have been taught to think their way into a new reality, to repeat affirmations, to visualize outcomes, to construct mental images of what they desire. And when nothing changes, they assume the principle itself is flawed. But the principle is not flawed. The application is. Because thought alone does not create reality. Feeling does. And until you understand the difference, you will continue to think about a life you never embody. Thought is the surface. Feeling is the depth. Thought is what you tell yourself. Feeling is what you actually believe. You can think 1,000 affirmations of abundance, but if the feeling beneath those words is scarcity, scarcity is what manifests. The mind hears the words, the body knows the truth, and reality responds to the truth, not the performance. This is the great error of modern manifestation teaching. It emphasizes mental construction while ignoring emotional state. It tells you to visualize your desire, but visualization without corresponding feeling is mental fiction. The image floats in the mind without anchoring into the body, without saturating your nervous system, without becoming the frequency you actually emit. And the universe, or more precisely, your subconscious, responds to frequency, not fantasy. Feeling is the secret, because feeling is the bridge between consciousness and matter. It is the energetic signature you broadcast continuously, regardless of what you say or think. Your dominant emotional state is what shapes your reality, not your conscious wishes. If your dominant feeling is unworthiness, your circumstances will reflect unworthiness no matter how many vision boards you create. If your dominant feeling is scarcity, your finances will reflect scarcity no matter how many abundance affirmations you recite. The feeling is causative. Everything else is decorative. Consider what feeling actually is. It is not surface emotion, the temporary reaction to circumstance. It is the deeper, sustained inner state that colors your perception, shapes your decisions, and dictates your energetic output. Emotion comes and goes. Feeling state is what you return to when emotion settles. It is the baseline. And this baseline is what manifests. You do not manifest from your highest moments or your lowest moments. You manifest from your average inner state, sustained over time. This is why most people fail. They engage in manifestation practices for 15 minutes a day and then spend the remaining 23 hours in a feeling state of doubt, frustration, or lack. The 15 minutes do not override the 23 hours. The dominant frequency wins. And the dominant frequency is whatever you sustain unconsciously, not whatever you perform consciously. To shift reality, you must shift the sustained feeling state. Not the temporary mood, not the inspirational moment, the underlying tone of your inner world. This requires more than positive thinking. It requires inhabiting a new emotional reality before the external evidence appears. You must feel as though what you desire is already yours, not as fantasy, but as embodied truth. The feeling must become so familiar, so consistent, that your nervous system accepts it as your default state. And when it becomes default, reality has no choice but to reorganize around it. This is the vibrational principle at work. Everything in existence emits frequency, not in a vague mystical sense, but in observable terms. Your emotional state generates an energetic signature that influences how you perceive, how you act, how you communicate, what you attract, and what you repel. When you feel abundant, you make decisions from sufficiency. You take risks from confidence. You communicate from worth. People sense this. Opportunities align with this. Reality responds to this. When you feel scarce, the opposite occurs. You hesitate. You undervalue yourself. You repel what you claim to want because your energy contradicts your words. The vibrational mismatch between desire and feeling state is the single greatest obstacle to manifestation. You cannot ask for one frequency while broadcasting another. The broadcast wins, always. This is why the inner work matters more than the outer technique. You can learn every manifestation method, follow every guru, recite every script, and still produce nothing if your feeling state remains unchanged. Conversely, you can know nothing of formal manifestation teaching and live in a sustained feeling state of gratitude, abundance, and possibility, and your reality will reflect that without effort. The technique is not the cause. The feeling is the cause. To cultivate a new feeling state, you must first identify the current one. What do you actually feel beneath your thoughts? Not what you wish to feel, not what you perform for others. What is the dominant tone of your inner world when no one is watching? This is the feeling state shaping your reality, and until it shifts, your circumstances cannot fundamentally change. The shift begins with attention. You must attend to the feeling, not the thought. Sit with the emotion of already having what you desire. Feel the relief of resolution. Feel the security of abundance. Feel the peace of alignment. Not as imagination, but as embodied practice. Allow the feeling to saturate your body. Let it become familiar. Return to it again and again until it ceases to feel artificial and begins to feel natural. This is not pretending. This is rehearsal. You are training your nervous system to inhabit a new baseline. And as the baseline shifts, your perception shifts. As your perception shifts, your decisions shift. As your decisions shift, your circumstances shift. The chain of causation begins with feeling, not thought. Feeling alters perception. Perception alters action. Action alters reality. The Hermetic Principle of vibration confirms this. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Your emotional state is your vibrational state, and your vibrational state determines what you align with in the field of possibility. Two people in identical circumstances will experience entirely different realities based on their internal frequency. This is not unfairness, this is law. Stop trying to think your way into a new life. Begin feeling your way into it. The feeling is the secret, because the feeling is the cause. Everything else follows.